Yo, what's crack-a-lacking?
Yo, what do you say?
I haven't heard that in a while.
No, it's been a while since I heard that too. That's old school. Old school for
Well,
you.
I don't know, it was that old. I mean, I was around. It's probably for the people watching. They probably younger. I don't know, man. You kind of making yourself seem older than what you are.
No, I'm plenty fucking old. I
Sorry
watched
to hear.
Reggie Wade play. I'm old.
Damn. Never
Yeah.
mind. He old. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Live from the Bench with GQ and Boulevard.
Yeah.
Today we got a fun one because there's stuff actually starting to go down in the league. So, I mean, I think it's kind of filler stuff, like to fill out the season because there's nothing else going on.
It
But
is.
it's stuff nonetheless, and we're going to talk about it a little bit.
I mean, at this point in the season, you got to reach for stories. Got things like the Buffaloes having their pro day today and all of that good shit. And we're so desperate for stories. We're out here discussing route running and everything like that. Like there's a whole thing going on about Travis Hunter's route running on this one specific route. I didn't see too many yet. I'm watching it now, but there was just this one route where it's just like pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter.
Yeah.
A whole lot of nothing for a 5 yard in. So
yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, the shit was hilarious.
I was
you already seen it. Go watch it after this episode. Don't leave now because we just started.
His route running was really giving me a headache. Me being a wide receivers coach and everything, it was giving me a headache.
I don't know what he was going for on that play.
But he wasn't going for the open route because he's not beating nobody.
Look at my fanny.
He wasn't beating nobody with that.
Sorry, they're doing it flatly. Yeah, the Irish dance, the Irish jig or something. What he was not doing was running a route. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, he wasn't. But moving forward, the first thing we want to talk about is these bans. What is the NFL doing? These bans, they're getting out of hand because it's just like
bars.
What are they doing? You know, because so the first thing that was banned this season, and it's like one of the most, probably the weirdest ban of the season, is the nose wipe celebration. You know, when they go like this, when somebody scores a first down, CeeDee Lamb does it a lot. It was banned, and I really have no idea why. I mean, if they don't like the Cowboys, they could just say it was because they don't like the Cowboys, and I'll accept that because, you know, I hate the Cowboys too. So, but I just don't.
Man, the person I am who has to know everything about everything, I went out and I tried to find out why they decided to ban a nose wipe gesture. It was popularized by CeeDee Lamb, as we know, but it's been banned due to perceived gang associations. League officials, including former Eagle Troy Vincent, of all people, emphasized the need for better sportsmanship and clarified that the gesture is now classified as a violent gesture under the rules. There was more to it. It was like a whole thing where it was affiliated with the B's and the C's and all of that. But, you know, there it is. They just think it's connected to gang violence. Smelling your fingers is a gang gesture. I mean, make it make sense to me, but that's what it was. That's the reason. Any player caught performing the nose wipe will face a 15-yard penalty. This penalty is part of the NFL's new rule that prohibits any violent gesture, including a nose wipe gesture, as unsportsmanlike conduct. Is smelling your fingers unsportsmanlike? I mean, I know firsthand what goes on down there in those fumble piles. Would you really be smelling your fingers after coming out? Hands go places they don't need to. They don't belong. Put it that way. You might have to go cry in the shower sometimes after coming out of a fumbled dog pile.
Oh man!
But that's
gang gesture. Now, oh man, they just going to. Oh god, I've never in my life seen anybody in the hood wipe their nose. I'm just.
Well, I mean, I hope you've seen people wipe their nose, but
they know. Next, they gonna ban Josh Sweat's celebration. They'll
What's his
ban that next
celebration? I don't even notice things like that.
year. He has this right here. You know when he because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Josh Sweat.
Well, I mean,
They
then you
gonna ban
might
that
as well
next
tell him change his name then.
year.
I mean,
This-
they got this thing for banning shit for nonsensical reasons. They banned, they fined Moran today for simulating a gun. But my understanding is somebody on the other team did the same thing and they didn't get fined for it. So go figure. I don't know. People like they guess they think that the players are having too much fun out there and they want to rein it in, get it under control.
I
Otherwise,
think
it'll
that's
spread to
exactly what it
baseball
is.
or something.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think it's just becoming too fun,
Mm-hmm.
and
You
they
know,
gotta.
the NFL can't have that.
You're just trying to reel it in a bit. Because I
Mm-hmm.
remember NFL was just completely jacked up at one point where you couldn't even celebrate.
Right.
I remember there was a whole 2-3 year span where you couldn't even
I
celebrate.
mean, what did they just start coming around within the last 10 years on the celebrations?
Yeah, because I remember Zach Thomas ran a touchdown back, a fumble return or interception back for a touchdown, and he did a front flip in the end zone,
Mm.
got a whole penalty. I was just like,
I
at
mean,
some
some players would just do it and take the penalty. Just take the fine. Pull a pen out your sock. Pull a phone out of the goalpost. Like, I miss that.
I do too because it brought because what I think it is when you start banning celebrations, it's like you're taking the identity out of some of these players. Like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of these players, they have their own identity, and like you take their celebrations that they're like known for because of reasons that you're making up. You're trying to draw the conclusion because I can promise you, like in the past 10 years, Troy Vincent, Roger Goodell, or anybody in the executive suite that is the NFL, none of them have stood next to a B or a C and actually seen a gesture that they made that's anywhere close to a nose wipe. So I think them bringing that into it or try to make it into it is just their way to make something up, drum something up to justify their decision to take something away because that's just basically something that I've seen this year. Like over the years, they'll do something. It's kind of the same as when government starts to make weird laws that's to justify an ego or two. Because that's what I think it is. I think they're banning this because Roger Goodell feels like I need to show people that I'm Roger Goodell. I'm the commissioner. I need people to fear me.
Mm. Could
And what?
be.
And this is my thing. And and this is where I feel like that's the reason the NFL decided they were going to put their hands in the pot with the UFL. Is because when people start getting bored with the NFL, they're going to look to go somewhere else. I feel like the UFL was probably a year late because I'm pretty sure when AB left, he probably would have went over there.
Mm.
There's a possibility that would have happened. So I feel like it's just stupid, and I think it's just something that just strokes some egos up in that executive suite in the NFL.
Mm. They clearly need their egos stroked because they've been on some bullshit this week.
Mm-hmm. And we
I
can
mean,
like segue that right into the tush push ban.
exactly.
They've
Like, what
been
the fuck was that about? I mean, it didn't go through, thank God, but half the league was in favor of it.
yeah,
Hey, yo, y'all some damn, y'all corny. That's corny as hell.
yeah, and it's like you look at it's like oh my gosh, it's just so aggravating, and it gives off witch hunt. It's like
Hmm.
you're going out of your way to ban a play because nobody can stop it.
Right.
That is the. Listen, I'm gonna say this right now. The NFL is on some pussy ass shit.
Mm.
That's some pussy shit. Like you really sitting here and telling me that because people are unable to stop a play. Because look at it from a perspective when it comes to football is football. Football is football. If you
Yeah,
can't stop something, you need to learn how to stop it. Like, remember Jerome Bettis? Nobody could stop it. You couldn't stop Jerome Bettis, so you had to figure out a different way to tackle that motherfucker. Go
hmm
take out his legs because you couldn't tackle him the right way. But it took a while for people to start thinking about that. Uh, It's like you're gonna ban Jerome Bettis because he's hard to tackle. You're gonna ban Derrick Henry because you're gonna ban the stiff arm because Derrick Henry's too good at it.
you
Like,
gonna ban quarterbacks from leaving the pocket? Like, what are you gonna do?
right?
Where does it end?
And like,
Start
if you
banning
allow
certain
them to
players.
stop this play, what you're gonna say you can't, like, you tried to stop. And I feel like it gives me like the whole witch hunt vibe because they ban the essentially ban the read option in a sense
hmm
because of that forward. You can't hand the ball off forward,
Yeah, yeah.
which is stupid because if you give the ball up, the quarterback get the ball off forward, that's just a pass. Wouldn't be a run, it would be a pass. So how is that banned? Because it's still illegal. It's illegal. It's considered illegal for a pass. So
Right.
it's stupid. Like they
These
just
are all things that mean they want scoring in the game. They
yeah.
want entertainment. They don't seem to put as much value on defense as they should, protecting defensive players, allowing them to do their job. So why are you making a big stink about? Or like, why are they making all these issues about these things? These aren't issues. I bet if you looked at the leagues or the teams that were against it for the most part, probably have a lot of offensive coaches over there that can't successfully do it. Because mostly, barring a few cases, not going to say it leaned all this way, the ex players, as far as defense, we're all like, we have to figure out how to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Not we need to ban it. Because to ban a play, like you said, it's a pussy move. It's a bitch move. Like
Yeah.
it's a cop out. We can't stop it, so it needs to go away. Like, no, you're being paid to be a coach. You got your X's and O's guys. You got your players guys. They should be able to figure it out. They figured out the Wildcat.
Right.
What's the mean? Why can't they? What's stopping him? I've heard one person talk about, oh yeah, they'd have to devote practice time to it. Then they have to devote practice time to it. How is that a problem? You only have so much time. Those are professionals. Those are grown ass men getting paid millions of dollars. They can't spend a 2 hour session working on such things. The variations that the Eagles run out of it, because unless it's banned in May, you're going to have to deal with it next season. So you're still going to have to focus on stopping it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this posturing, this fake, these cop outs.
Yeah.
We can't handle it. Can you make it go away, Daddy Goodell? Can you make the mean play go away? It's a cop out. It's a coward's way out.
And something I actually heard some executive in the NFL, I'm not sure what his name is, not sure what his position is, but his words verbatim was that the play didn't have a good aesthetic. Where when I heard that, I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Like a play isn't good aesthetically. If you look at it, I don't think any play looks aesthetically pleasing because it's football. Football is not supposed to look aesthetically pleasing. It's supposed to be innovative. It's supposed to be full contact, knock a motherfucker head off. So when you're talking about play doesn't look aesthetically pleasing, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I
Because
find the
football is not
symmetry
supposed
of
to
a
be
football play, like X's and O's, like drawn up on a play sheet. That's aesthetically pleasing to me.
yeah, but we're not going to see
I don't
that.
really care what the play is.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. Just analyzing the X's and O's of it. But I mean, who cares?
And
It's not supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to be
yeah,
football. It's not
it's
supposed to be
supposed to be
aesthetically
football.
pleasing. If you wanted to be aesthetically pleasing, you wouldn't have took all the hard hits out.
Right.
So
If you, if
that's
you,
not what you want. That's just another one of their excuses. They like such as, oh, it gets people injured. You know who got injured? One dumbass dude from Kansas City because he lined up went against everything he was ever taught in his life about playing that position and lined up sideways.
And
he got what he deserved. That shouldn't count. That's 100% on his dumb ass.
You know what's funny about that? Because I was thinking about it. I was actually sitting here pondering it. And I said, what would make him do that?
No home training? I don't fucking know.
And I thought to myself,
he got lucky in Vegas? Thought
is there a possibility that he did that
CTE
as maybe somebody in a high level position, like, we gonna try to ban this play, somebody gotta get hurt. And Chris Jones was like, listen, I'm already hurt. The game.
Hey, boy already had a cramp. Like, yeah, fuck it.
Let me do this, and maybe we can get like some people to vote all in on me getting hurt.
Lined up sideways.
Because it's just
what you deserve, man.
And if you want to talk about what's not football, right? Because we're gonna talk about what's not football. I'm gonna tell you what's not football. Frankie Louvu keep jumping over the snap. That's not football. Like, you're talking about what's not football. There's a difference. These guys lined up in a formation. What's not football is Frankie Louvu keep jumping over. That's just him bullshitting. Y'all should have fined him, banned him, or did something like say something about that. But no, because y'all couldn't stop it because y'all want to play fucking patty cake and don't want to. Y'all don't want full contact sports. Y'all want pretty shit. Y'all want people y'all don't even want people dancing. I don't even know what they want anymore, because it's either you want flag football, you want full contact football. Like, because if you want full contact football, the tush push, because this is what when football started, they didn't have passes. They had shit like this, people putting their head down, smacking into each other. That's football.
Yeah.
So now you want it to be all pass? Like, dude, just play flag football. Make it flag football. And I promise you, y'all keep taking the hits and the physicality out of the game. I'm promising you, 3 to 5 years, nobody will be watching.
I hope and pray that day never comes, where I find football like I find wrestling at this point. It's just too dull and slow paced to watch. I fear for that day.
I do too.
Something to keep watching it. I mean, like, okay. Mark Murphy, the Packers team president, the guy who started this shit, said there is no skill involved and it is an automatic first down on plays of a yard or less. None of that is true. None of that is true. And I don't see how a former NFL player like Mark Murphy could say that. I mean, he's one of the ones that say, or the exception to what I noticed, that with the defensive ex-players that had a vote in the matter and said they would rather learn to stop it. Mark Murphy was kind of an exception, and I'm very disappointed in him.
I forgot he was a player.
Yeah, ring too. 1 or 2 rings. But I mean, only the Eagles and the Bills really run it like that. I got numbers, of course I do. Those 2 teams have run a play 163 times over the past 3 seasons, more than the rest of the league combined, and have been successful at it 87% of the time compared to 71% for the rest of the league. Sean McDermott voted against it. Will the Bills run it next season? Will the Bills run a brotherly show?
Absolutely. They will. They will.
The hypocrisy of that. The hypocrisy of the Packers possibly running it. I can't imagine the Packers doing it. Jordan Love's not, from my understanding, that large of a person.
What makes me so aggravated about what Mark Murphy said is to say that there's no talent involved, and then you look at
he's a big boy. Jordan Love 6'4", 220. That's a big boy.
Yeah,
I stand corrected.
He's actually bigger than Jalen Hurts. It's crazy to me. But yeah, what bothers me about what Mark Murphy said is, like, you say there's no talent involved, but you look at that offensive line, hands down, if not the best, one of the best offensive lines in the game. You want to sit there and tell me that there's no talent on that offensive line? eat my ass because that offensive line is 100% responsible for the success of that. Probably 99% because you'll give Jalen Hurts credit. I'll get to that in a second.
There's 2 and a possible Hall of Famers. Well,
Mhm.
basically, just to consider counting Kelsey.
Yeah, so it's like that right there. That's talent. You can't sit there and say that there's no talent involved because if there was no talent involved, there will be a lot more people who are successful at it. It
Mm-hmm.
takes nothing but
Right.
talent.
If it was easy, everyone could do it. So to say that is just outlandish.
Yeah, if it was no talent, you can just fucking tell the Cleveland Browns to do it. They'll go undefeated. And that's where that's my problem with Mark Murphy's statements. Then to sit there and say that there's no talent involved, just a reason why when they tried to run it with Kenny Pickett, it was very unsuccessful. Like it wasn't successful when they ran it with Kenny Pickett. He even fumbled the ball. But for Jalen Hurts to do it, it takes his unique set of skills to do that. And you sitting here trying to ban it is basically saying that Jalen Hurts has an unfair advantage because he's physically gifted in a way that no other quarterback is in the league. And we don't like that. We don't like that this quarterback that we have an agenda when it comes to Jalen Hurts. We don't like Jalen Hurts being a star in the league quarterback. We want to disrespect him. So him being that person that's able to come out here and show his gift, his ability that nobody else in the league can even compare to his physicality as a quarterback, we're going to try to nullify his ability to run the ball, nullify his ability to push the pocket or push the offensive line as a quarterback. So what do? You ban a play that he's good at because it fits your agenda to dumb his ability. It's very, because that's what I'm thinking it's starting to be. It's like
they're scared. Like they can't stop it, so they can't stop it on the field, and they refuse to apply themselves to devising a scheme to stop it. They'd rather it just went away, and that's weak.
Yeah, that's like sitting there saying that Steph Curry's too successful at shooting threes. We're gonna stop. I feel like that's just stupid.
Celtics just set the record for most threes in a season. Besides the point,
nice.
I had a stupid little theory about that. Like, I mean, if it had been banned, or if it had been embraced, like these other teams could, run their own versions. And I had like one that stood out for me in my own mind was that 464-pound defensive tackle. Why can't you just line him up at quarterback? Nobody needs to push, because I doubt you can even physically push that man. Like, you're not moving him. It's going to take 3 of you.
Yeah.
464. Line him up at UB and then just dive, sneak, whatever you want to call it. Just take this shit forward. I mean, that's my main one, because I'm a fool sometimes.
That's hating.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Run your own variations of it. That's what happened with the last time something came in and people couldn't handle it. Wildcat and RPO. There's always something. It's evolution of the game. If it leads to more scoring, if it leads to better play on the field, if you're one of the people that watches it for the scoring for the offensive play, then this is something you enjoy. Mm-hmm. If you're more for the play within the game, the little individual matchups, you could go either way. You might prefer defense. You might prefer a defensive battle. Then it's still something you should enjoy, because it's still, at the essence, it's the definition of football.
Right.
Man on man, helmet to a helmet. That's the element of football. The fact that they're crying injuries and there have been no injuries is bullshit. Pretty much every excuse that they've had is bullshit. It's witch hunt, like you said. It's just an attempt to put their foot on the Eagles. So they told Howie and Jalen and Saquon and AJ and all that good stuff, all the young boys on defense, don't get too big for their britches. That's what it is. It's a control thing.
Yeah.
Just look at the teams that are lining up against them. It's the teams probably teams that were in their path that they went through on the way to a championship, on the way to building this potential dynasty. They're trying to find any weapon that they can to use against it, because what they can't seem to do is stop it offensively. Defensively, judging by that streak that the Eagles went on during the season and in the postseason. Learn to stop it is the point. Stop being punks. Learn to stop it. You're grown-ass men.
Right.
Don't rely on the commissioner to do your damn job.
Daddy, help. And that's where I feel like the league has, like, instead of Roger Goodell has to be a different type of commissioner. It's like, you can't sit there and take everything away because everybody's complaining. I hate that. And for Roger Goodell to have any type of opinion about a play like that shows a certain type of bias that I'm just not comfortable with. Like, there's literally no reason for him to be making a comment.
He represents the owners. He doesn't give a shit what the
so
players.
Weird to me. It's just so weird.
That's what the owners are saying. If the owners are complaining about it, then the ones that are in his ear are the ones that are bitching about it.
But if he was, then that's where I have to call bullshit on that too, because if he represented the owners, right, and he couldn't get, which what happened last time, is that he didn't get, because he needs 24 votes in order to get this to be banned, right? When they were supposed to make the decision last week or earlier this week, when they didn't get the 16, when they didn't get the 24 votes, it should have been dead and done right there, because
it didn't actually go to a vote officially.
But still, he wasn't gonna get it, so he was like, "Oh, we gonna table this for later." That right there means that you weren't the voice of the owners. You weren't representing the owners, but you represented yourself, because 100% you wanted this ban. He wants this ban. It has nothing to do. I mean, it may have something to do with the owners, but it has nothing to do with the reason that he
not
just doesn't.
All the owners as a whole would be against it. No.
Yeah. So I feel like that's just weird to me. For him to say you represent the owners and then you not representing everybody. You just like completely just saying, "Oh, I got my own agenda," and only the guys who want to rock with my agenda. Like, he don't represent.
So, I mean, we got most of the opinions we got to realize came from coaches. Were the coaches the one making the votes? Because we could be getting the wrong information all together.
We could be.
I mean, I can't say for certain if the coaches or the owners made the votes. I mean, it's Goodell, so it's probably the owners, not the coaches. So I don't know.
Listen, I feel like the coaches are like fucking. I don't know.
Management.
Like they. If there's something coming down, unless you're talking about Woody Johnson, because he do whatever the hell he want, and Jerry Jones do whatever the hell he wants. So some of these coaches, they don't really have a voice, so they can be saying their opinion, but it don't matter, because we know Jerry Jones voted against the tush push too. It does.
Oh, absolutely, he did it just because he could.
Yeah, he was like, "I don't like competition. I want to be the best." But yeah, I think these teams just need to be more innovative. They just got to be more innovative. Because I remember when the Atlanta Falcons drafted Michael Vick, that's because I feel like that's how they got the Wildcat to be a thing, because they didn't have the ability to run the way Michael Vick was, but they needed a weapon to do something special like that. Because if you notice, when the Wildcat was a thing, no team with Michael Vick on it ever did it. Like, and when the Eagles brought the Wildcat to Philadelphia, you know who the Wildcat quarterback was, right? It was Michael Vick. They ran the Wildcat with Michael Vick as the quarterback, because they didn't, like, when you have Michael Vick, you don't need the Wildcat. Teams use the
Right.
wildcat to give you what you got with the Falcons. It's like that's what you do. If a team has an advantage, you have to figure out a way to benefit from. You have to find your own way to do that. So that
Utilize
means,
your personnel.
yeah,
Use what you got to get what you want. In this case, yardage, first downs, and points.
yeah. And that's what I think they could have did with, like, listen, we can't run the tush push with Jordan Love. Okay, you got Mr. Dillon back there, big fat Dillon. You know, whatever his nickname was.
I knew a fat dude named Dylan once upon a time.
What was his name? What they call them? Super quads or whatever.
I don't know.
Quadranator. I don't know.
Who?
Captain Quads. AJ Dillon, Andy Dillon, whatever his name is, the running back that
They
the Eagles.
really calls that man that.
Oh, they didn't.
I
Damn.
don't know. I ain't in the locker room. I forgot to put my stuffs on.
So if they can't run it with Jordan Love, put Big Dillon back there and let him run it. I'm sure they probably would have found some success with his big ass running behind the offensive line. But then again, they couldn't run with him before, so they probably can't run with him now.
Right.
But that's just beside the point. But we know teams is hating, especially
Damn! How do we spend so much time on that? Holy shit.
because it's just one of those things. It's just the disadvantage, you know.
Yeah,
But you know who kind of what it's like when you talk about people they making stupid comments to fit their agenda. Jerry Jones did the same thing when it came to Michael Parsons, basically saying that he got a deal all worked out with Michael Parsons, didn't even need his agent. Michael Parsons' response to that was, "I'm not doing." It's not verbatim, but he basically said, "I'm not doing nothing without my agent. I'm not doing nothing without my agent. If my agent ain't there, we're not making a deal." He's not doing what he said. I won't make a deal without my agent. That's basically what he said.
Yeah. That's what happened.
And I think that's really weird. You know, what are you trying to do, Jerry? Like you're basically saying that you're trying to like spin a story, maybe. That's like to make people think that you got that power, you got that pull. Like it's automatic that Mike is going to sign with you, knowing that you don't like to give people contracts.
Terms, guarantees, money, all of those things we've had a meeting of the minds on. Jerry says, I'm the one who has to sign a check, and Micah is the one who has to agree to it. The agent is not a concern here. ... I don't know his name. What Jerry Jones said. Clarence Hill, Cowboys writer, wrote it, because I actually did a lot of looking around on this, wrote, Mulugeta, or however you pronounce it, is one of the best and most respected agents in the NFL. Parsons' wife staff hired Mulugeta. And Parsons responded to saying, facts, David is the best, and I will not be doing any deal without David Mulugeta involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts for a reason. Facts. There is no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There will be no backdoors giggity in this contract negotiation. That's the comment.
Yeah.
Let me get to the reality of the situation. As an NFL player, Michael Parsons is a member of the union. Therefore, he falls under the CBA. The CBA requires Jones and the Cowboys to deal with Parsons' NFLPA certified agent. Whenever a player asks a team to negotiate contract terms with his rep, the team must comply with that request. Because the NFLPA is the ultimate bargaining entity on behalf of the players in the union, the union has to delegate those responsibilities to contract advisors for individual contract negotiations. Jerry tried to cut out the middleman. That's cutting out the union. That violates the CBA.
Oh, so Jerry Jones need to be in trouble? Hey, Roger, get out. This is something that you need to be talking about. This is what you need to be worried about. You know what happened when it's come to people trying to skim a little up the top and try to mess with the money. violate league rules. I think he in one of those situations. What's that dude name? Terry Richardson? No, not him. Not him.
I do.
What's that dude that used to own the 49ers? Him? No, not him. Not him.
Is that York?
No. The one that they made him sell the team.
Oh, I don't remember.
The former Snyder. He was fucking with the money.
The Commanders.
Yeah. Well, I remember the 49ers had an owner, the Italian dude that they made sell his team. I think it was Italian. His name sounded like a mob. I'll find out who it was. Okay. It's something to look into. But yeah, you start messing with the money, they gonna start just adding, because like at first they wasn't really sure if they was gonna make Dan Snyder sell the team. They wasn't all in yet. But then when they start finding out that Bull was messing with the money, and I feel like, that's kind of like when Jerry Jones starts saying weird shit like that, you got to look into it. You got to investigate that, because has he done backdoor deals? Has he done it before? For him to be able to be bold enough to say that shit out loud. And that's when they were saying, pay attention. When people start saying the silent part, the quiet part out loud, Jerry Jones done said some shit, and you got to start looking into it like, wait a minute. Did he do some backdoor shit before? Because how he bold enough to say that shit out loud? I'd be damned if I wouldn't. See, these billionaires, they get too much power, they get too much confidence, because old Daddy Goodell probably let shit slide. But now, old Daddy Goodell, this gonna get you in trouble, because if you let shit slide before, Jerry got too bold, and Jerry the type to get real bold. And I'm promising you, if it came down to a vote to remove a commissioner, I bet you Jerry be one of the first ones to be like, I'll vote him out. Listen, ain't no loyalty in this game.
Nope.
Fucking Jerry Jones.
If it was, the owners would be getting, the players would be getting ripped off.
Oh, yeah.
If loyalty mattered, the players would be suckers.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, but like this Mulugeta, I hope I'm saying his name wrong. If I'm not, I don't give a fuck. I don't know him. But here's the people that he represents. Okay? I'm going to say it in a specific way, so I leave the good ones for last. Jordan Love, Justin Fields, Derwin James, Jesse Bates. Hell, fuck it. I'm going to just say the order. I got it. Deshaun Watson, he signed. That's his deal.
Damn.
CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, Jalen Ramsey, Derek Stingley Jr., Derwin James, Jesse Bates, and that J.C. Horn contract that he just signed. Wow. I think it was like 4 years for $100. Negotiated over $1 billion in contracts in 2024.
Hey, Mulligata, give me a contract. Look.
Well, what did he do? So, I mean, even despite the fact that it would be illegal as fuck within the rules of the NFL and their agreements.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mad disrespectful. Like, boy does his job, and he clearly does it well. He got Deshaun Watson, the biggest ripped off contract in NFL history. Like, that contract crazy as hell. So, Boy does his job well.
Yeah.
J.C. Horn got big money. Jalen Ramsey got big money. Jordan Love, I'm pretty sure already. Yeah, he's got a big contract.
Yeah.
Derwin James, Jesse Bates. Yeah, they've all have their contracts already. Derek Stingley, I'm pretty sure just signed or not. Yeah, just signed one. So there you go. Boy does his job well. You got anything else on dumbass Jerry Jones?
I don't mean to wish death on somebody, but ain't he like 80?
Let's see. How old is Jerry?
I feel like the Grim Reaper is looking for him. I wish Billy and Mandy would leave Grim alone so he can come get Jerry.
Evil doesn't die.
But here's my question.
1942.
Damn. So he was 8 years older than Pop.
Yes. Why am I struggling with this? Oh, right. Yeah, I know why I'm struggling with this. I've been inhaling stuff. Anyway, Jerry Jones cold as hell, and that first number is definitely 8. So
Yes.
that's what you were wondering. Anything else is uncivilized.
If y'all see Billy and Mandy, tell them to leave Grim alone so he can come get Jerry.
Shut up, Billy. I ain't even gonna act like I don't still watch that shit.
Listen, shout out to Cartoon Network. Doom, 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 doom.
All right. Speaking, since we're still talking about the league meetings, and this is like this is the main event's coming. The statistics of the NFL have been altered forever in very interesting ways, I'll say. The All-American Football Conference has been incorporated into the NFL books as of Tuesday. This means that sad sack NFL team, Cleveland Browns, have now won 7 NFL championships, and they're tied with the Patriots.
Oh.
Well, Otto Graham, quarterback of the Cleveland Browns under Paul Brown, has tied Tom Brady Super Bowl record 7-3.
Wow.
The Browns won 4 championships between 46 and 49, and won 3 between 50 to 55. Pretty sure 48 they went 14-0 as well, and that's why Dolphins are no longer the only undefeated team in NFL history. That's crazy.
Wow.
Paul Brown has 7 championships. He's now passed Belichick, Hedges, and Lambeau, and has the most championships. Yeah, the AAFC was a competitor of the NFL from 1946 to the 1949 season. And it gave us the Browns, the 49ers, and in a way it gave us the Colts because the Colts folded and then came back, I believe, 3 years later as an NFL team.
Yeah, I actually did a whole watched a whole video on which is like a very interesting topic. It was basically about how all the teams that started in the beginning and how they like changed, became the team that they are today. It was very interesting because it was talking about the team that was like that folded to and it became this team, like the team that was the Giants before they were the Giants. It was the whole Card Pitt thing, how they were playing through World War II and players got drafted. It was
the Steagles.
Like, if you don't know the whole story of all these NFL, it's really interesting. If you ever get a chance to go look at that stuff, I would definitely it's really interesting. It's like, because you think back then it was like World Wars. The NFL was rocking during the World Wars. Like, people was getting drafted. So that's really interesting, So.
Yeah, World War War II fucked sports up. Like, players from all the leagues were going off to war. I mean, that's why we had girls playing baseball. That's the main reason. It wasn't because we were like, yeah, let's go make girls play baseball. No, it was just because there wasn't enough dudes to play baseball. They were on war.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, does this actually do any damage to Belichick's legacy or Tom Brady's legacy? Does it even matter?
I don't know, because my question was immediately when that happened, it was like, because the Eagles have an NFL championship, but it was before the NFL was NFL. It was the NFL versus the AFL. So does that mean that trophy counts? That championship?
Yes, it counts.
So that means the Eagles have 3 championships.
If that is the correct number, if that's the amount of championships they won, then yeah. You won the championship. You won the championship.
Yeah.
Like, you mean, you can asterisk and say, oh, that was the olden version of the game, but it's still a championship.
Yeah.
You still won. You were still the superior team that year. Doesn't matter how long form your team looks, how the game evolves. That season that those players went out there, they were the best team. They won the championship. That counts. I don't care if it was the AAFC, NFL, AFC, USFL. Winning the championship means you were the best. You had to earn it. And they didn't have the luxuries and the medical and the health care and the knowledge that doctors and physicians have today, the footwear, the gear in general. They didn't have any of those advantages.
Right.
They beat the shit out of each other. Like, you can barely hit a dude coming over the middle. You can barely do that now. But whether that's better or worse is irrelevant. It's the fact that, those championships count. They went out there, they played their hearts out, and they won that championship. So, doesn't matter if you played plumbers or whatever. You played who was on the other side. You have no control over who your opponent is. You can't have that knock. That's not a fair knock to have against the team. You have no control over that.
Well, speaking of those stats, we're talking stats. We're talking those numbers, historical. I want us to figure out if it's like a question that you want to think about, because at the end of a career, everybody likes to walk away from their career and say, has my career been enough? What I've done in my career enough?
La hacemos.
Also, shout out to Julio Jones, who just announced his retirement. Everybody walks away from the league and they always ask themselves, did I do enough in my career? If they didn't, they'll probably play another 4 years. Like, look at Calais Campbell.
Actually, before you go forward, let me ask you if Julio had enough. 914 catches, 13,703 yards, and 66 touchdowns. Is that Hall of Fame worthy? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'd say yeah. Why not?
7 out of 14 seasons he cleared 1,000 yards.
Well, that's not good enough for me. Never mind.
I mean, that decline last 4 years was clear. 13, damn near 1,400 to 770 to 434 to 300 to 74 with Philly in 23.
I need at least 10,000 receiving yards.
He got that, 13,000.
Yeah.
He got 13,000, yeah.
That means you was like the top of your game for 10 years. So I'd give him that. Yeah,
if he had retired yesterday, I could have actually spent more time looking at his stats comparatively like I did to this other guy.
Julio Jones is a Hall of Famer.
He's all right. I mean, he's in the conversation. He will be on the ballot at least.
Yeah.
He's earned that much.
Well, let me ask you this. Saquon. Do you think Saquon will finish his career and has done enough to say Hall of Famer?
Let me see. Is he in Hall of Fame? I mean, statistically, there are some ifs. I'll say that much. There are some questions because there are milestones that players tend to hit to reach that point. Holy shit. I lost the link to what the hell I was looking for. Okay, there it is. Now, there are a lot of highlights and awards in his NFL career. If I may demonstrate. All rookie team, Burt Bell Award. That's the MVP. NFL rushing yards leader 1 time, 3-time Pro Bowl, first team All-Pro. 2018 Rookie of the Year, 2024 Defensive Player of the Year, and Super Bowl champion. He has the records for most rec receptions by a running back in rookie season, most scrimmage yards, regular season and postseason combined, and same thing in most rushing yards in a single season. Okay, those are all good, but here's the issue: he's only got 7,200 career yards.
How many seasons has he played in the league?
shit, I'm gonna have to go find the damn thing. All right, just talk because I gotta open something up. I should have had it already.
So my question is like, has his career numbers surpassed like? Because like when you see somebody say, okay, I've played 10 years in the league, and if you played 10 years in the league and you haven't hit 9,000 yards, then I would say you're not a Hall of Famer. But if you played 10 years in the league and you got 1,500, like you surpassed it by at least 200 yards, it's like, so you're averaging more than 1,000 yards a season, then I'd say that you're a Hall of Famer. Like you having a Hall of Fame worthy career. So that's more my question. Would you say that Saquon Barkley is having a Hall of Fame worthy career at this point in his career? Would you say that he's trending toward a Hall of Fame, not at the end?
Well, I mean, statistically, the bar right now is about 12,000 yards for your career. That's the top 16. All but Frank Gore and Adrian Peterson are the only ones in the top 16 that are not in the Hall of Fame. Really, 12,000 yards puts Derrick Henry about 6,600 yards off. And basically, other than Zeke, Zeke's the only one that's even close to 10,000.
Wow.
And that's in this generation that's currently playing right now. So you would have to move the numbers, like move the scale a little bit. And I don't really know where to place it at this point because I don't know where these players are going to finish. But I know this generation with the running back by committee and the timeshares, they're going to finish significantly lower, even the top ones.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's basically the last of a dying breed. Saquon could have been a guy he was this season, but we know his history.
Right.
With all those carries, he could be just waiting to just, like something just pops, God forbid.
Right.
343 carries is a lot.
That is
a lot. That's what he had last season. I don't even think that's counting playoffs. So,
right.
Yeah. Joe Mixon's at 74. He's a couple hundred ahead of him, and Aaron Jones is a couple hundred behind Saquon, who's sitting at 65th all time. 1,000-yard season would probably put him in the low 40s, somewhere around 46, behind Herschel Walker in front of Roger Craig. But like I said, you'd have to move the scale. But as of now, with the current standards, probably not.
So, I mean, if let's say Saquon averages 1,100 yards for the next 3 to 5 years, probably not. Probably won't happen.
Then yes, he will be.
He will be. Okay.
Now, what was that number? 3 to 5. You said what?
3 to 5 years with 1,100 yards rushing.
So with the 3, that'll put him over 10,000. That would put him in the top 30. So I'd say, yeah. I mean, he'd have a strong case.
I say,
Larry, Earl Campbell, Jim Taylor are all around that time.
I'm going to say this, and it'll probably be very unpopular. I say that if Frank Gore gets in, Saquon should get in, and the reason why
Frank Gore should get in.
The reason why I'm iffy about Frank Gore is because like Frank Gore spent like the last 5 years of his career just like what basically like shit, I can't remember what it is, like the garbage stats.
Yeah,
he basically just stacking garbage numbers at the end of his career.
He made the most of his opportunities, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, he also was a solid voice in the running back room. He helped a lot of running backs get just a little bit better.
Yeah, but does that can get you into the Hall of Fame?
He's third all time in rushing. He's ahead of Barry.
It's because Barry
ahead of AP. He's ahead of LaDainian. He's ahead of Eric Dickerson and Jim Brown and Marshall Faulk. Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah.
I guess my argument is
700 yards behind Walter Payton per second. Just on those numbers, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Did he have a Hall of Fame career? I don't know if he reached all of those accolades that you'd expect, but it's kind of like LeBron, where he reached a lot of milestones just by sticking around longer.
Yeah. That's what my argument is. It's like because he's staying around too long.
Mhm.
But I mean, credit that to his ability to stay healthy enough to still compete. So
Exactly.
yeah.
I mean, he played what, 15 years, and yeah, I mean, what, Adrian Peterson played for more teams than he did in 14.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, they wanted him. That's what that is. He didn't have to bounce around every year until he got old. So yeah. Sadly, no, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer yet. He's got to get up there. He's got to at least hit 9,000 before he's in a conversation.
So here's another question, because it's right around that Hall of Fame number. If Jalen Hurts continues to play the way he's playing now, I mean, I know at some point he's going to like slow down with the running. He's going to stop running the ball as much and start focusing on being a passer, which the thing is, Jalen Hurts can be a good passer. If he continues on a trend where he's like, could Jalen Hurts become a Hall of Famer even though he doesn't have great passing numbers because he's more of a runner? Could his running stats be enough to get him into the Hall of Fame?
For this era, yeah. Especially when you count the success that he's had. Yeah, absolutely. Probably 1 or 2 MVPs will lock him in.
They don't want to give it to him.
Yeah, I know. But, all right. All that really matters is the wins. And if he wins 3, if he comes out of his career with 3 rings, he's a Hall of Famer.
That sounds good to me.
Kind of undeniable at that point.
Well, that's all I have for today.
How much time we sitting at? Okay. I think we can end it, yeah.
Yeah, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say unto you, tune in tomorrow on YouTube to watch my football team mollywop the Tri-County Owls. More on that to come. Thank you guys for sticking around. Boulevard, let these people know exactly what they can do.
No, I will not. I will not tell them what they can go. I'll tell them in the next episode we'll probably be talking about NILs and rookie quarterbacks from last season who's going to have a sophomore slump. Potential Eagles breakout players. That's what's on the horizon for the next episode. Also, who would you rename the NFL trophies after? If you can name them after any current player or past players, who would you name them after? That's the sort of shit we got coming on. And we're going to discuss the draft, do a lot of what ifs, would you rathers, top 10s, all that goody bullshit. So come back, watch us, and hit the bench.
Hit that shit.